seara! O să o invităm alături de noi și pe regizoare înapoi. Până vine ea în față, permiteți-mi să spun din nou, numele meu e Cezara Grama, reprezint în seara asta Asociația Lider Just, care a adoptat acest film, pe care îl veți putea vedea și mâine, din nou, și la acea vizionare va fi prezentă și regizoarea. Câteva cuvinte despre noi. Noi suntem o asociație a tinerilor profesioniști în drept. Asta înseamnă judecători, procurori, avocați și toate profesiile care nu intră neapărat în aceste categorii, a celor care au absolvit dreptul, și suntem pasionați de tot ceea ce înseamnă sistemul de justiție, educație juridică și așa mai departe. Și anul ăsta ne-am alăturat efortului și festivalului One World, pe care îl urmărim de mai mulți ani, și am adoptat și noi 2 filme, acesta și Procesul, pe care îl puteți vedea mâine și duminică, tot în cadrul festivalului. But Yasmina, here you go. First of all, welcome back. Thank you for the movie. I would like to open the floor for questions. And we will have the discussion in English, but if anybody is comfortable with French, I'm sure that would also be an option. And I would like to start off by, first of all, thank you for the film. It was very interesting, and it gave you, I think, a range and a storm of emotions, from laughter to, there was a scary moment at one point. And I would like to ask you if they've already moved to the new location. Yes, they have.
Yes, last year, in April.
Okay, and what happened to the building right now?
We still don't know. It's completely empty of people. There are several different possibilities, and one of them is transform this monument into a commercial zone with Starbucks and so on. But the people who live on this island completely disagree with this project. So for the moment, nothing happens.
And before I have one more question, I'm taking advantage of the microphone. In your perspective, how has that changed the act of justice? The fact that they moved from this building that had its history and its own life to a brand new building with different amenities, different people, different needs. How has that changed in your perspective?
There are many changes. When the film was released in France, I asked many judges, advocates and so on to come and discuss about that point. And they began to live in this new building, which is completely white. That is like a white page, a new page of the French history. And the first thing is that a meeting between different people is more difficult in the new building. Everything was made to avoid meeting. And you know, these informal moments between audiences when people can speak together, it is disappearing, and it's a real problem.
Questions from the audience?
First of all, thank you for the film. It's incredible to have this insight of how a courthouse works, and I'm wondering if there is any such similar film really anywhere in the world, because I believe that you had the incredible benefit of your co-workers' goodwill to have access to all of this, how it works and all of the places inside. And I imagine this type of documentary wouldn't have been possible to an outsider, so you working there beforehand, I think you had an incredible advantage, and we're grateful, I think, that you thought of using it this way. So I'm also wondering, when you first talked to your coworkers about this project, what did they think? Were they, I don't know, amused or indifferent, or did they believe that the French audience needed this sort of film? So, what are your thoughts on this?
People who work downstairs were very surprised that I was interested in them, and they asked me, why do you want to shoot us? We don't count in this universe. But for me it was important to show that a court is not only judges and advocates, but also many employees. In French we say fonctionnaires. They have a bad reputation in France. Here I don't know, you laugh. But what I saw is that they do the job really, and with all their consciousness, and it was very emotional for me to discover them, because when I was at my place here to report for TV, I didn't see them really. They were always here, but I didn't see them. I had to come back with a little camera to see them, and it was an important thing for me during all this project. You said that I had a special place because I knew that world before shooting, and that's why it's not like, for example, a Frederick Wiseman's film. Do you know Frederick Wiseman? He shoot many American courts, for example, juvenile court, and he comes with a new his own curiosity. But my way is different because I spent there many years before shooting.
So yeah, I was just curious about the process itself, because obviously, again, you spent a lot of time there already working and so on, but when it came to just obtaining the approvals from everyone and then the actual shooting, how long did the whole process take, and what did it, I don't know, assume?
7 years. Because of these approvals. The first approval, I had to wait for 4 years for the general approval, in fact. And then each space needed its own approval, each person, and it was a very long process.
I suppose you had to meet with a lot of people and explain what you wanted to do?
Yes, explain and explain and explain. And they knew me before, so it's the rhythm of justice, and I knew that it's not the ordinary rhythm; it's another rhythm, and I had to do with that.
It's slow, like here. I wanted to ask you about this office where people were talking on the phone. I would compare it to a call center, but they knew so many things about specific cases. Can you explain a bit what is that?
We don't have anything like this here.
We were laughing. We were laughing. We thought it's like a hotline of the justice system, but it must be a explanation, a reasonable explanation for it.
You want to speak about the second moment with the educators. They speak about young people. Yes, it's a special service with educators. I don't know if the word is okay. Educateur.
Is it like a teacher? No.
No, they have. It's a kind of social assistant who tries to find another solution for the minor to avoid prison.
Alternative means of punishment.
Yes, they try to find a solution and they propose it to the judge, and the judge decides.
And they work in the court?
Yes, they work exactly at that place, a little space, unknown. Even French people didn't know that exists. And it's a very hard job because it's an emergency. There are only few hours to find a place for the minor to go. And it's very, very harsh job.
So it's legal counseling and negotiation somehow with the judge.
Yes, it's a real negotiations because the judge often doesn't want that, prefers prison.
I also wanted, I'm gonna say something about the same scene. I thought it was very funny that they, at one point, one of the guys in the first scene, who they're talking, I think it's reception, where he says, "Oh no, ma'am, I'm used to somebody being rude to me. This is part of the job." And I thought, okay, this is very relevant to what you're saying. They're functionaries, they do a lot of things inside, but people are rude to them on a daily basis just because sometimes.
Hello. For me, the movie was just like a puzzle because the palace is built from so many pieces, so many people working, different ranks of people working in there, and I was very curious if the movie was projected for the people working there after you made it, and what was the feedback, because I'm pretty sure that many of them didn't know about the existence or what they are doing, thinking about other people's.
The film was projected many times for many people who work there, and the reactions were different. For the judges on the top, they find that my film doesn't represent their reality. They find that this puzzle doesn't exist, that there is only one world. For the people who work downstairs, they are very proud of their place in the film. And many employees of this monument discover the place of the others, and the judge of the juvenile court didn't know where the educators are working, because he never goes to them, never. Many employees discover the presence of the religious community, because these nuns are not very visible. And during all the time I've I shot in the monument, I gave news from one part to the other. I was a kind of go-between. And it was very interesting that role I had to take.
Yes, thank you for the movie. It satisfies a curiosity of mine because every time I visited Paris, I wanted to go inside the Palace of Justice, but never had the occasion. And now I have the full story ahead. Thank you.
I think my favorite is the guy with the clocks. I liked him. That was an interesting job.
Yes, the guy with the clocks. Because it's another time in this place.
Not for the judge who stole one.
Any questions?
Maybe there is anything else you would like to tell us about the film and that we haven't asked? We missed it.
Yes, the one thing I can add is that what was very important for me was the place of other people in this monument, that is to say the accused, the prisoners who are judged there, and I had to build their place because it was quite difficult to find how to film that. Many of them asked me what I was doing here with my little camera, and I explained. So they asked me to film them like the others, with the faces, their identity, and I refused. So I never film the faces of the prisoners. It was my choice. Because I told them, if one day you will go out of this situation, you don't you won't live all your life in this kind of jail, and my film will be we will have a very long life, and if we can't see your face, we will remember you only at that place, and for me it was impossible. So that is very important for me to add this.
If there's no more questions, thank you very much.
There is.
How many people are working there?
Oh, many. There are more or less 4,000, but the advocates are 30,000 in Paris. So every advocate doesn't go every day into this monument, but it was a lot of people, and almost 50,000 visitors per day. It's a labyrinth, gigantic labyrinth.
And all of them are now working in the new building. The employees were relocated, or all of them?
Almost all of them, yes. Some are still in the old one, but only a few of them.
The clock guy.
He has lost in the labyrinth. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.